Hey everyone, I'm here at the Great American Outdoor Show with another quick episode of the FOAC-ILLEA podcast. I'm here with Noah Formica from Turning Point USA. Unless you've been under a rock, you know who Turning Point USA is. They are big movers and shakers with all things political action. They're right now here on the ground in Pennsylvania, and I wanted to kind of talk to Noah about your efforts here and kind of what you're seeing. So first of all, like, how are you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
I'm good. Good to see you too.
Awesome. Tell me how the show has been for you guys so far. What are you focused on right now in Pennsylvania?
Right. So real quick, so we're Turning Point Action. So what pretty much the difference between Turning Point Action and Turning Point USA is high school chapters and college chapters. Turning Point Action is the grassroots side. So we're the activism side that, make sure that we retire some of these bad politicians, make sure that we get good people in office. We do voter registration, ballot chasing, recruiting precinct committee members, building coalitions, and then we also do a lot of grassroots trainings. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people who just don't know how to fill out a voter registration form, and we have to teach people how to do it.
Sure.
This show, though, has been phenomenal. So far, I think we registered 24, 25 today. But just the past week, we registered 164 voters, trying to gun for 200, not to make a pun, gun for 200 voters. A lot of them are hunters, which unfortunately 30 to 40% of our hunter population doesn't care to engage within Pennsylvania. And mind you, there's 840,000 hunters in the state of Pennsylvania. So they have the power, the impact to make a difference. They just don't. So we want to reach these people, get them engaged, because we have an important governor election, we have important, state senate, House of Representative elections. I mean, we don't control any of that. We need to make sure we take back control and save the state. Now is the time to do so.
Yeah, we actually talk about this all the time at FOAC, that if we could just get our sportsmen and our hunters engaged, allegedly there's 600,000 or so that sit on the sidelines in elections.
Yep.
And one of the goals of FOAC is to say, hey, we all get involved, we help protect and preserve our rights. So thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for making the distinctions too about the Turning Point organizations. I appreciate that. What are your thoughts moving forward into 2026 for politics in Pennsylvania? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? I think I know what the answer is, but Tell me what it is and why.
Right, so I'm going to it's going to be a long-winded answer, but I'm going to explain it. So I got involved when I was 15. I'm 25 now. Got involved because of Trump, got involved because of Charlie. What I saw in, obviously, 2015, we lost. What I saw in 2016, I actually thought we were going to lose. But we won. We had an upset victory. 2017, 2018, 2019, they all came around. What happened? We lost every single election. 2020 came around. Obviously, we won. They cheated, though. Let's be real. And then after that election, 2021, 2022, 2023, we almost won a county executive race in Pittsburgh, which some of you guys are close to Pittsburgh. We lost by 3,000 votes because Republicans and a lot of our gun owners and a lot of our people of faith sat on the couch, sat on the sidelines, didn't decide to go out there. So we almost changed Pittsburgh overnight. That would have been phenomenal. And then 2024 came around, which I was still in the minority, just seeing all these different elections. I thought we were going to lose again. Thank God we won. We had a mandated victory. However, I kind of predicted 2025 would go the way it did. And I started to see these results campaigning in 6 different states: Iowa, Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, obviously, Wisconsin, and Arizona. Republicans disaffected. We're the party of low propensity voters. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, Democrats are the party of high propensity voters. They get out every single cycle consecutively. Doesn't matter if there's a turn on the ballot, they're still going to vote for that turn. Unfortunately, Republicans, if they don't wise up this year, I am a little optimistic. I think they can wise up. I think they can get out to the polls. It's just a matter of we can reach them this year and just let them know that, hey, this is what's going on. This is why you need to vote. Because if we just sit on the sidelines, we're screwed for another generation, quite frankly. I think we can win. And a lot of people are definitely interested in voting. However, I've also talked to a lot of people this year that didn't vote in 2025, where we had important Supreme Court elections and the vote no, no, no on the ballot. People didn't go out and vote. And these are your diehard, Trump-loving Republicans who love our gun rights.
Right. What is the dynamic that if Donald Trump is not on the ballot, we don't turn out? Why do you think that dynamic exists?
Again, I think Trump he's unlike everybody else. He has that power and that aura. I always say, like, if you look at politicians, none of them have the aura, but Trump, he has some kind of aura where he's able to just reach everybody, all walks of life. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. He's always in the spotlight. So that really does help. If you kind of look at politics, it's not, I mean, get out the vote, voter registration, knocking all those doors. Which I love doing that stuff.
Sure.
It always comes down to also what is the other option. Making sure that you have soft message versus hard messaging. And Trump just does it all. He has that soft messaging and he has that hard messaging. He knows how to reach all different kinds of walks of life. And that's why he does so good when he's on the ballot. And that's why every other Republican does so good as well when they're on the ballot with Trump.
Right.
But when Trump is not on the ballot, people are like, why do I need to go out to vote? That's the kind of dynamic we have to change. We just have to find those thought leaders in our movement. I think we have a few thought leaders in Pennsylvania. I don't think the Democrats have any thought leaders right now. I think they're completely enraged. We just got to completely remind our base that, hey, if you want to continue our mandated victory that we had in 2024, then you need to get your butt off the couch and you need to vote this year in 2026. Because if we lose the midterms, they're going to come after our gun rights. And they're not just going to come after our gun rights. They're going to go directly after ICE and all these different law enforcement groups that are fighting on the sidelines every single day.
Yeah.
And the deportations are going to stop. We're going to still have people in the country that shouldn't be here, making our lives harder, and also giving, responsible gun owners a bad name, because illegals are grabbing guns just like us Americans are.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of illegal guns out there, and nobody talks about that. But
not to mention impeachment palooza will happen immediately after that, because it won't just be Donald Trump this time. It'll be anybody that our base probably likes, whether their name is Pete Hegseth or RFK Jr. or you name them, they're going to come after them. So there's a lot on the line.
And thankfully, though, they probably won't be able to control the Senate completely. So the way it works is you have to have 2/3 of the Senate. So I think we'll be good. Trump will still be in there. However, we still want to make sure that we can protect everything. Like you said, make sure that we protect his cabinet. Those are the most important pivotal people.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete Hegseth is literally on the line and going out to all these different military bases and these hot zones, reaching the soldiers, rallying the troops, and making sure that we get our crap done. That's why that Venezuela operation was amazing. Pete Hegseth took care of all that. CIA, FBI, couldn't have done that without these impeccable people in our administration.
So zooming back to Pennsylvania for a minute, somebody's watching this and they're going, I love Turning Point. I want to see us win in November, but I'm just one person out here watching these guys talk. What's something that I can do to positively impact the elections in May and in November?
Right, so the most impactful thing is, honestly, we have a huge deficit of just unregistered voters. I think it's like 46,000 registered Democrats to Republicans active voter-wise. That's the margin we could change overnight. If we just get people
46 on the Republicans?
46,000 Democrats to Republicans, that's the active voter registration number. It's around 150,000 for, just bulk number, but those are people who don't typically go out to vote every year.
Okay.
But we have a huge time where if we just reach a lot of these low propensity Republicans, and we all know some of them. We know people in our lives who are like, oh, I don't vote. There's no point in voting. My faith prevents me from voting. Oh, I have my guns. My guns are going to protect me from whatever happens with the government. Okay, well, wouldn't you rather vote to make sure you protect all that? So the simplest thing is registering voters. Another thing you could do, getting involved with your local county party. And people are like, why do I want to get involved with county GOP politics? Unfortunately, and that's the bulk of our grassroots game. The Democrats completely have us beat. I live in Allegheny County. I'm our GOTV director for the county. Unfortunately, Democrats have a full committee. We have a half committee. So we need Republicans from all walks of life stepping up to the plate for our biblical values, our gun owning values, and they need to start knocking those doors and chasing those ballots. And when you think of ballot chasing, it's just literally knocking on a door, finding that low propensity voter, asking them why they don't vote, get them registered to vote. Not only that, get them signed up for an early ballot. I know we don't like early ballots, have to use them, because in order to change the game, you have to play the game.
Sure.
You got to get rid of Josh Shapiro, and then we can get rid of Act 77. So, simplest way to get involved.
So somebody's out there and saying, okay, that all sounds great. I don't know where to go for resources or instructions on how to do that.
Yeah.
Where should they visit?
Right, so there's so many different ways. If you want to get directly involved with Turning Point Action, you just go to tpaction.com. We form coalitions. You can also look up the PAGOP's website. Just look up PAGOP on the Google search engine. You can also get in touch with me personally. My Twitter handle is NFormicaGOP. Yes, just like the countertop. Or you can find me on any of the other social medias. I always try to answer my DMs, touch base with people, and just try to get people involved from all walks of life. And I mean, this is a grassroots movement we're trying to build in Pennsylvania, and Turning Point's at the forefront of making sure that we build it. We just need as much help as we can get, and we can completely outnumber the Democrats. And we've seen this, and I'm going to quickly go on a tangent, but we've seen what small grassroots movements can do. And we did one really successfully last year where we got rid of a Republican who ran Republicans for Kamala. This was in Arizona, in a little district in Mesa City. And we got rid of her. Her name was Jolie Spilsbury, and we replaced her with somebody named Dorian Taylor. And that was just with knocking doors and talking to as many people and just letting people know what's going on. And so many Republicans didn't know about the election. Then after we were done, literally after 2 weeks, everybody knew. And everybody knew that this is the person we need to get rid of. That is the kind of grassroots movement we can do on a large scale here in Pennsylvania and all of our other swing states, and completely change the game, take the state off from the Democrats.
Nice. So what I hear you saying is, 1, make sure you're registered to vote yourself. 2, make sure your friends and family are registered.
Yep.
3, make sure if they're registered that they actually know when election day is and
Yep.
they get out to the polls to vote. And 4, be educated on the issues and be ready and willing to, unseat people who say they share your values but then don't actually vote in accordance with them.
Bingo.
Is that a fair summary?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, I want to leave with one last thing. I know that you knew Charlie. Give me your favorite Charlie Kirk story that's personal to you.
I guess my favorite story, I didn't get to have as many interactions with him as I would have loved to. I mean, he was a friend. It was kind of like a work relationship, but we have kind of this thing in Turning Point where we don't see each other as coworkers, we see each other as family. We have over 1,000 employees. Charlie always saw us as family. But my favorite story was AmFest, and after we won the election, and obviously when he had a big smile on his face after we finally won, because the persecution of not just him, but Turning Point was finally over. So I saw him at AmFest, and I was like, hey, what's up, Charlie? What's up, boss man? He's like, oh, that's Noah Formica. Oh, I love this guy. So he just finds those nice, heartwarming moments that just kind of cheer you up, make you happy, and he does that with all of his employees. He's certainly done that with me. He's certainly propped me up and made me who I am today. And I mean, I wouldn't be here in politics if it wasn't for Charlie.
Wow.
He's that pivotal person within my life. So everything I do here from a daily basis, the stories I've had with him, I always share with people. And not only that, but everything I do here on the field, with just voter registration and making sure that we get the good fight out there, is all in the honor of him.
That's so cool. I never got to meet him in person, but you can tell he was just a special person, and God was seen fit to greatly use him, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for you and for the organization, for everything you guys do. If people want to learn more about Turning Point, where can they go?
Sure. So they can go to tpaction.com. You can also, if you want to join a coalition, it's coalitions.com. Or if you're in Pennsylvania specifically, you want to stay connected with us on the field because I'm their senior field rep, you can go to my Twitter, NFormicaGOP. My Instagram, same exact thing. You can look me up on Facebook, Truth Social, LinkedIn, any of the social medias. I'm happy to take DMs there, answer any questions, or just get people involved within the movement.
Awesome. Noah Formica, thank you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate
Have a great
you as
rest
well.
of the show, and we look forward to the elections and seeing what you guys pull off, and we're cheering you on.
Absolutely. God bless.
Thanks so much. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more from FOAC-ILLEA coming your way.